Om Sthapakaya cha Dharmasya Sarvadharmaswarupine Avataravarishthaya Ramakrishnaya Te Namaha. Bowing down to the feet of Sri Ramakrishna, my heartfelt namaskars to all of you. Today, yesterday, maybe the weather is very pleasant. Before that, you had noticed that it was too warm, humid, and you were troubled by the weather. So one of the person was troubled by the heat of the sun. He met the Lord, that is Surya Deva, sun, and he prayed to him, "Dear Surya Deva, son, please go to the settings." He was a computer specialist. So he told, "Please go to the settings, display, brightness, and reduce in the display your brightness. It is too hot to handle." To which Lord Surya Deva replied, "My dear devotee, I have not changed any settings. Please go to your settings and increase number of trees, reduce carbon emission levels, reduce concrete jungles, that is the cement buildings, increase number of water bodies like lakes. Basically, switch to human mode from artificial intelligence, computer mode and auto mode," was the reply of Surya Bhagavan to all of us. Isn't it? It's so meaningful, you see. Then I came through another aspect of our real life. Married life after 50 was the caption. It is a scenario in an aeroplane during check-in at a port for a non-stop long-haul flight. The airline staff was very apologetic to the husband and said, "Sir, we are sorry. The flight is really full today. We couldn't allot you and your wife adjacent seats. Your seat number is 14A and your wife's is 42H. Husband smiled. Told, "Oh, thank you so much. Do I have to pay anything extra for that? To you for this favor?" To which the aeroplane staff replied, "No, sir, your wife has already paid the extra charges." See now, the smile, so many muscles and other things of your face change the whole thing. See, when you are in a very bright mood, your face go to that automatic mode of smile. It's a small twist in your face which changes the whole thing, which makes you really a handsome or a beautiful person. You may apply so much of layers of makeups, but that will not make you handsome or beautiful. But one small twist called smile can change the whole demeanor. So now, what has Swami Vivekananda to tell about smile on our face? Swami Vivekananda tells, before coming out of your room, go, stand in front of the mirror and see whether you have a smiling face, happy face, or a unhappy, long face, or as Revered Shivapadanandaji Maharaj used to call, popo face. So he used to call it as popo face. Popo means papaya, you know that very well. So long face or sad face. So if you have a sad, long face, see in the mirror, then Vivekananda tells, please do not come out of your room. Because if somebody else sees your face, it is contagious and they too will become sad. You are increasing the sadness in the world with a long face of yours. So please keep a smile on your face, then only come out of your room, says Swami Vivekananda. So now, many things has been told by Swami Vivekananda about this wonderful thing called smile. But you should be very careful. We will go on discussing about this wonderful thing called smile. Swami Vivekananda tells, well, another thing people here in the West, when he was in America and Europe, he told people in the West think that the more a man is religious, the more demure he must be in his outward bearing. No word about anything else from his lips. As the priests in the West would on the one hand be struck with wonder at my liberal religious discourses, says Swami Vivekananda. They would be as much puzzled, on the other hand, when they found me, after such discourses, talking frivolities with my friends. Sometimes they would speak out to my face, Swami, you are a priest. You should not be joking and laughing in this way like ordinary men. Such levity does not look well in you. To which Swami Vivekananda is telling, I would reply, my dear friends, we are children of God. We are children of bliss. God is bliss infinite. Why should we look morose and sombre? But Vivekananda tells, I doubt if they could rightly catch the drift of my words. We must be bright and cheerful. Long faces do not make religion. Religion should be the most joyful thing in the world because it is the best. Asceticism cannot make us holy. Why should a man who loves God, who is pure bliss, and he should be sorrowful? How can a man who loves God, meditates on God, God is pure bliss, and how can a man who meditates on God be sorrowful? That means there is something wrong. The person who meditates on God should be like a happy child. Be truly a child of God. The essential thing in religion is making the heart pure, not to make your face serious. Then goes on Swami Vivekananda about this cheerfulness of the smile on the face. I have been asked many times, why do you laugh so much, Swami, and make so many jokes? Swami Vivekananda told, I become serious sometimes. You know when? When I have stomachache or dyspepsia, I become serious. So, seriousness or keeping your long face or serious face is only when you have constipation or some stomach problem or dyspepsia, then only you will have a very serious face. The Lord is all blissful. He is the reality behind all that exists. He is the goodness, the truth in everything. All of you are His incarnations. That is what is glorious. The nearer you are to God, the less you will have the occasion to cry or weep. The further we are from Him, the more will long faces come. So if you have a long face, Swami Vivekananda concludes that you are away from God. You have a cheerful face, smiling face, then Vivekananda tells you are nearer to God. The more we know of him in the Lord, becomes miserable. Note it. Note these words of Swami Vivekananda. If one who lives in the Lord, who thinks and meditates on the Lord, becomes miserable, what is the use of meditating on such a God? The mentally weak will be like this. The mentally weak also cannot succeed in attaining Atman, God. The person who aspires to be a devotee must be cheerful. In the Western world, the idea of a religion man is that he never smiles, that a dark cloud must always hang over his face, which again must be long drawn, with the jaws almost collapsed. People with emaciated bodies and long faces are fit subjects for the physicians, not to become devotees or yogis. See, these are all words of Swami Vivekananda. It is the cheerful mind that is persevering. But Swami Vivekananda cautions, because hearing these words, you should not become too jovial and frivolous and laughing. That is the only goal of life. No, that's not the idea. Purity of heart is what is important. Childlike simplicity is what is important. So Swami Vivekananda warns, yet at the same time, excessive mirth should be avoided. Excessive mirth makes us unfit for serious thoughts. It also fritters away the energies of our mind in vain. The stronger the will, the less the yielding to the sway of emotions. Excessive hilarity is quite as objectionable as too much of sad seriousness, and all religious realization is possible only when the mind is in a steady, peaceful condition of harmonious equilibrium. I remember the balance between these things. One important humor. What is that? I used to read when I was in India, in my pre-monastic days, a magazine called Reader's Digest. In that Reader's Digest, there was one column called Laughter, the Best Medicine. Laughter, the best medicine. One person, one boy maybe, who used to read too much of this Laughter, the Best Medicine, went to the doctor. And he questioned the doctor. Doctor, when laughter is the best medicine, why should we come to you and take all the medicines? The doctor told, yes, laughter may be the best medicine. Yeah. Or lose motion, this doesn't work. You can't laugh too much. So, middle path is very, very important. So now, we will come to another thing, that is the beautiful smile on the face of Lord Krishna. When I was taking our devotees through the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, we came across a beautiful verse. What is that? 10th verse of the second chapter. Tam uvacha hrishikeshaha prahasanniva bharata senayor ubhayor madhye vishidantam idam vachaha. Now on the battlefield, Arjuna has commanded, because he is now the charioteer who is about to fight. Krishna is now handling the horses and the charioteer is just like the driver. So he is commanding Krishna, take my chariot in between the two armies. I want to see who have assembled here to fight. Then Arjuna went into a very pathetic condition because of attachment, and he became so weak that he couldn't even stand up. he collapsed and threw away his arms and everything, the bow and the arrow, told Krishna, I can't fight. And he gave so much of lecture, advice to Krishna himself. Then everything, when it was exhausted, when he told, I am not going to fight, then what happened on the battlefield? Sanjaya, who was there with Dhritarashtra, the blind king. Now the blind king is asking what is happening now there in the battlefield, Dharmakshetra, Kurukshetra. This Sanjaya had been given a special yogic power by Vyasa Maharshi to see everything on the battlefield and report it to Dhritarashtra. Not only the happenings on the battlefield, but also he could know the thoughts and feelings and the faces of everybody there. Not only simple running commentary, but he could even give the thoughts and expression and the emotions on everybody's person. So that was the speciality. Now, when Dhritarashtra, the blind king, asked, what is happening on the battlefield now? Now Sanjaya Uvacha, the 10th verse is telling, Tam Uvacha Hrishikeshaha, when Arjuna declared, I am not going to fight, I can't kill my own guru, I can't kill my own grandsire Bhishma, and all these Kauravas, though they may be very bad people, but they are all my relatives. So I am not going to fight. Better I die, or I will become a mendicant, I will become a sannyasin. So to which now Krishna gave a beautiful smile on his face. Prahasanneva Bharata. O Dhritarashtra, thereafter, in the midst of both the armies, Sri Krishna smilingly spoke the following words to the grief-stricken Arjuna. So what is that smile on the face of Lord Krishna expressing? In sharp contrast to Arjuna's words of lamentation, Sri Krishna smiled, displaying that the situation was not making, whatever might be the worst of the situation, that situation is not making Krishna despair. Rather, whatever might be the situation, Lord Krishna was perfectly tranquil, happy with it. Such is the equanimous attitude exhibited by someone with knowledge in all situations. With our incomplete understanding, we find faults with every situations we are in, and we go on complaining and grumbling about all the external circumstances, internal circumstances everywhere. And we wish to run away from them and hold them responsible for our misery. But the enlightened souls inform us that the world created by God is perfect in every way, and both good and bad situation come to us for a divine purpose. Everything is perfect, but we go on finding fault in everything of this world. There was one person, hypercritical, he used to find fault with everything. Not only with everything, every person, but also he would also find fault with God. One day, he was sitting under a very huge mango tree. Now, he was enjoying the beauty of the garden. Then he saw there a big pumpkin creeper. And on that pumpkin creeper, which was spreading on a fence, there was a huge pumpkin, nearly 20 kgs in weight. Then he started wondering, what is this God? Does God have any intelligence? This creeper, which cannot stand on itself, it has to take the help of the fence. It is so lean and thin. God has put this 20 kgs of big pumpkin. And this huge mango tree under which I am sitting has small, small mangoes. Has God any intelligence? If I would be in the place of God, I would have displaced, put this huge 20 kg pumpkin on the mango tree, or then it would become pumpkin tree, and put all these small mangoes on this creeper which cannot even stand on its own feet. It is to lie down on the fence. And immediately he heard some rustling noise from the top of that huge tree. He looked up to see what is that rustling noise. A nicely ripened mango from the top of the tree, maybe 100 feet or some 50 meters. It ripened mango was falling down. By the time he could react or escape, that ripened mango, rotten, ripened mango fell on his face and it splashed all over his face. Then maybe because of the jerk of the brain, he could get some intelligence. Thought, my God, if this 20 kg pumpkin from the top of the tree had fallen on my head, what would have happened to me? I would have died. Thank God. God is great. God is intelligent. I'm not intelligent. God is very intelligent. Everything is perfect in its proper place. So God has created this world perfect way, in every way. Both good and bad situations come to us for a divine purpose. They are all arranged for our spiritual evolution, to push us upwards in our journey towards perfection. Those who understand this secret are never disturbed in difficult circumstances, facing them with serenity and tranquility. The snowflakes fall slowly to the ground, each flake in its proper place, is a famous Taoist expression. It beautifully expresses the inherent perfection in the design of the world and the macro and the micro events taking place in it, even though we are not able to perceive it from our material perspective. Another Mahapurush Maharaj disciple, Swami's anxiety. Swami Chidbhavanandaji writes, significant is the smile beaming on the lips of Sri Krishna. His name was Hrishikesha there. He was called Hrishikesha, the Lord of the mind, the Lord of the senses. Hrishikesha means how? As the dawn, dawn, early morning, when you see the crimson sky there, as the dawn is the harbinger of the daybreak, the Lord's smile forecasts the yoga and the spiritual enlightenment that are come to Arjuna, that way is about to come to Arjuna, and through Arjuna to all of us. So that is the smile. Now let us hear about the smile of Krishna from the mouth of a great president of our order, Swami Ranganathanandaji Maharaj. He writes, Shri Krishna had a tremendous control over the situation. He was not confused like Arjuna or like all of us. Wherever there is that tremendous self-control and self-restraint, you will find that the mind is spontaneous and natural. A smile appears. Arjuna could not smile in that condition. He was shivering. But Krishna, in that situation, is smiling. The smile on Sri Krishna's face is a sign of the tremendous control he had over the situation around him. When you are in a distressed state of mind, you cannot smile. Sometimes you may feign or act as if you are smiling with a contorted smile. People can easily find out that that would be a contorted smile, not a natural smile. Look at the baby's smile. How beautiful, how natural. We lose that power as we grow older and older, and when we identify ourselves with the ego. But still, we can have some sort of natural, spontaneous smile. But if you are in distress, no smile can come. In the case of Sri Krishna's, this smile was a constant feature of his mind, a tremendous mind with great control over the environment around him. So he confronts the problems and tensions of the world with a gentle smile. And through that, he administers that calmness, that tranquility to the human mind. In the Mahabharata epic, you will find many instances of how Sri Krishna faces very difficult situations and bring about calmness around him. Finally, I will take you through a beautiful explanation of this smile on the face of Lord Krishna by beautiful explanation by Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda tells he had gone to his friend's house. So what happened there? That friend, let us hear through the words of Swami Vivekananda himself. I went to a friend's house. He has had a picture painted. What was the subject? The subject of which is Sri Krishna addressing Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Sri Krishna stands on the chariot, holding the reins in his hand and preaching the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. This friend of Vivekananda showed the picture and asked me how I liked it. Fairly well, I said. But as he insisted on having my criticism on that picture, I had to give my honest opinion by saying, there is nothing in it to commend itself to me. First, because the chariot of the time of Sri Krishna was not like the modern pagoda with the roof-shaped car. And also, there is no expression in the figure of Sri Krishna's face. To which his friend questioned, Swamiji, how then should Sri Krishna be represented in the picture in question? To which Swami Vivekananda replied, Sri Krishna ought to be painted as he really was. The Bhagavad Gita personified. How can you make Krishna's smile or Krishna's face with the whole of Bhagavad Gita in his face, beaming in his face? So, but Swami Vivekananda is telling, Sri Krishna ought to be painted as he really was, the Bhagavad Gita personified. And the central idea of Bhagavad Gita should radiate from his whole form as he was teaching the path of righteousness, dharma, to Arjuna, who had become overcome by infatuation, attachment to his kith and kin, and cowardice. So saying, Swami Vivekananda himself posed in a way which Sri Krishna should be portrayed and continued. Look here. Thus does he hold the bridle of the horses so tight that the horses are brought to their haunches and their forelegs fighting in the air and the mouths of the horses gaping. This will show a tremendous play of action in the figure of Sri Krishna. His friend, the world-renowned hero, Arjuna, casting aside his bow and arrows, has sunk down like a coward on the chariot in the midst of the two armies. And Sri Krishna, whip in one hand and a tightening reins with the other, has turned himself towards Arjuna with his childlike face beaming with unworldly love and sympathy and a calm and serene look. That smile should personify the whole essence of Gita. What a beautiful, see, you can imagine, you can meditate on that face. Whip in one hand and the tightening reins on the other, has turned towards Krishna, has turned towards Arjuna with his childlike face beaming with unworldly love and sympathy and a calm and serene look, and is delivering the message of Gita to his beloved comrade. Now, tell me, my friend, what idea this picture of the preacher of Bhagavad Gita conveys to you? The friend answered. Activity combined with firmness and serenity. Swami Vivekananda was very happy. That's it. Intense action in the whole body and with a face expressing profound calmness and serenity of the blue sky. This is the central idea of Bhagavad Gita. To be calm and steadfast in all circumstances with one's body and mind and soul centered at his hallowed feet, at the Lord's hallowed feet. And what is that verse in Bhagavad Gita which Swami Vivekananda is now telling? What is that word? Beautiful verse again from Bhagavad Gita. Karmanya karmayah pashyed akarmani cha karmayah sabuddhiman manushyeshu sayuktaha kritsnam karmakrit. Meaning, those who see action in inaction and inaction in action are truly wise amongst human beings. Although performing all kinds of action, they are yogis and masters of all their actions. That is the meaning. Now Vivekananda, he is telling, yes, they are men who will be the intensest of activity, but their mind will be calm and quiet. That is the gist of Bhagavad Gita. He who, even while doing action, can keep his mind calm, and in whom, even when not doing any outward action, flows the current of activity in the form of contemplation of God, is the intelligent one amongst men. He indeed is the yogi. He indeed is the perfect karma yogi, worker. See what a beautiful expression of the smile of Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. So now, at least hearing such beautiful, profound talk of Swami Vivekananda and other things, should not a twist of smile come on our face? Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.